So, hello there, and welcome back to another Nights the Movies podcast. I'm Spike Knight, and in these podcasts, I like talking all things movies and TV, and whatever I want, whenever I want. And in today's podcast, I'm reviewing the new Ian McKellen film titled The Critic. So, let's get into it, shall we? The Critic. So, as I already said, this is a new film starring Ian McKellen, and that's the main reason I went to go and see this film, because I've loved Ian McKellen ever since I saw him as Gandalf in The Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings movies. You shall not pass! And also, I've loved him ever since I saw him as Magneto in the X-Men movies I started, We're the Future Charles, not them. But I particularly love him as Gandalf. I watch the Lord of the Rings films and the Hobbit movies, actually, every Christmas. So he's always in my household around that time of the year, that we're getting close to now. So I have a very soft spot for Ian McKellen, and I've loved him ever since those roles I've just mentioned that he played. And so whenever I see Ian McKellen's in something, I immediately get somewhat interested, and I know I will watch it as well, because he's one of those actors I will just watch in anything. And the other reason I went to go and see this movie at the cinema was because it looked like it could be a good Sunday afternoon kind of movie. One of those films you watch on a Sunday afternoon with your grandparents. That's just a bit of light-hearted fun or light-hearted entertainment that passes the time and gives you that warm feeling on a Sunday afternoon. So those were the big two reasons. Those were the two reasons I went to go and see this film at the cinema earlier today. And the Google plot synopsis for this movie goes as follows. A powerful London theatre critic, played by Ian McKellen in the movie, lures a struggling actress, played by Gemma Arterton in the movie, into a blackmail scheme that has deadly consequences. And that's pretty much all you need to know about this film before seeing it. And honestly, I thought this film was fine. I didn't hate it. I didn't hate it at all. But I didn't really get into it either. And none of it really stood out to me. I mean, that's the thing. I don't really feel anything towards this movie because I never really got into it that much. And sure, the film had some entertaining and interesting ideas here and there whilst it was playing in the cinema for me. And when I say for me there, it's because I was literally the only person in the cinema. Sure, it had some interesting stuff here and there, but it's just, it never really gets into its subject matter, and it never really explores some of the ideas it touches on. The film does touch on some interesting ideas surrounding the job of a critic, surrounding how people perceive criticism, how criticism can affect someone, and how it can drive someone to do bad things. The film does touch on those ideas, but it doesn't really explore those ideas as much as you would want it to. And the story doesn't sound bad. The story of a theatre critic luring a struggling actress to do something that'll have deadly consequences doesn't sound bad, but it's not told in a compelling or engaging way, and the film did end up being a bit of a tedious watch in the cinema. I'm not saying that I found it really hard to get through, but I did get to the end of the movie and think, that took, that felt like it was longer than it actually was. The film was about 1 hour and 40 minutes, and it felt like it was about 2 hours. And that's not to say it doesn't have its moments. Ian McKellen is wonderful in the film. He seems like he's relishing the role he's playing, and he was genuinely I was about to say the only good thing. He isn't the only good thing in the movie, but he is the best thing in the film, because every time he was on the screen, I felt like there was something to watch. Whilst the other actors in this film has quite a fruitful cast, if you will. Whilst the other actors in the movie are all okay, but they're not really given anything to work with. None of them have standout moments. And you have actors like Gemma Arterton and Ben Smith, I think that is what his name is, and Leslie Manville, who just played Queen Margaret in the last 2 seasons of The Crown. You've got some really good actors in there, but they're not really given anything to do, and they're not really given any standout moments, And Mark Strong is also in this movie. You know, many people might know Mark Strong from the likes of the Kingsman movies. He's also in Kick-Ass. He's been in loads of films. You know, he's a very good actor, and I always like when I see him in something. But I didn't really like him in this movie because, again, it didn't feel like he was given much to work with, and he didn't really feel like he gave a great performance. And also, I couldn't get past his wig. He's wearing such a stupid wig in the movie that looked incredibly fake when I was watching the film, and it did make me chuckle in a couple of moments, just the way his wig looked. It didn't look real at all. So yeah, the acting is all fine, apart from Ian McKellen, who's actually really good in the movie. And the film, you know, isn't badly produced or badly directed. There's some shots in the movie which, you know, look like you could put the type of shots that you could put on your wall, and you'd be quite pleased with the way they look. But the film is just, it's not that good. That's the thing. It's not, at least for me, a good Sunday afternoon kind of movie that I was hoping it was going to be. I'll tell you what is a good Sunday afternoon kind of movie: The Great Escaper, which starred Michael Caine and Glenda Jackson. I think that came out earlier this year, if I'm not mistaken. It may have come out last year. I don't know, I'll get all my days mixed up nowadays. But, you know, The Great Escaper, which I think came out earlier this year, that is a good Sunday afternoon kind of movie. And I was hoping to get the same feeling with this movie that I had with The Great Escaper, but I didn't. It's just fine. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about the movie. And so, all in all, I'm going to say that The Critic, I'm going to say that it's a 5 out of 10. Again, not terrible. I wasn't watching the film thinking, God, this is a waste of time. I'm so angry I went to cinemas to go and see this. Wasn't thinking that at all. But I was thinking, this could be so much better. It could be so much better. The ingredients are there. The pieces are there. And perhaps somewhere, you know, in all the tediousness, I don't even know that's a word, but somewhere in all the wasted potential, there is something. But that's not what we got. Still, Ian McKellen seemed like he was having fun. And, you know, it's always a joy to watch Ian McKellen relish a role. You know, there is nothing bad about that. But the film itself, yeah, I don't think I'll remember anything about it tomorrow. And so, all in all, as I've already said, as I'm going to say once more, in this podcast today, The Critic is unfortunately a 5 out of 10 from me. Anyway, guys, that's it for today's podcast. If you have seen The Critic, then please let me know your thoughts on it in the comment section below. And as always, thank you for watching or listening to this podcast. And if you haven't yet, please do click down below and like and subscribe on this podcast. And look forward to many more podcasts coming very, very soon on this channel. And yeah, I suppose that's it. So thank you guys for watching. That's what I said. And I will see you guys again soon. But bye for now. Bye.